Oh, hey guys, Jack here. So, let's go into the third season of Young Justice, which, like Invasion, has a subtitle known as called Outsiders. But first, I bet you're wondering how the show came back. Well, fans weren't too happy after the cancellation by Cartoon Network of their favorite DC animated show. Okay, that was weird. Why did I even... anyway. But when DC Universe came around, the streaming service for DC content that includes shows, movies, comics, and original programs, they announced that Young Justice would be part of their new lineup of original programming. And were the fans ecstatic? We got the old creators and the old voice cast back and everything. Now, once again, we have another time skip. This being 2 years, which helps it coincide a little bit. Better. And I need to just check something real quick, if you guys don't mind. Let's see. So this takes place in real time. Okay, well, it's 2000. I'm not sure. Okay, so the point is, 2 years have passed since the end of Invasion, with, once again, the team switching out. We have a new bat. We have Tracy 13, who is a magic user and is, I don't know, possibly love interest of Blue Beetle, give or take. We have Arrowhead, who, based on her name, pretty sure she's a new protege of Green Arrow. And we also have Spoiler, who is a Batman character known as Cassandra Cain. Not Cassandra Cain. I'm thinking of someone else. The point is, she was originally the fourth Robin until she died 6 weeks into the job. Whoops. But due to some reality stuff, she was retconned to has never been Robin, instead becoming the next Batgirl after Barbara Gordon. But once again, reality altering stuff, she never became Batgirl. Instead, she became Spoiler, because her father was a supervillain, Cluemaster, so she decided to spoil his plans. Yes, I made a pun of her superhero name. Don't judge me. But most of the team remains the same, except now Miss Martian is the leader of the team. Also, deciding to ditch her green skin and and in her Martian form, be more open about her white Martian heritage, which I found a nice touch. Also, the original Aquaman has decided to retire to focus on being the king of Atlantis full time, passing the mantle to Aqualad, passing the mantle to Calderon, who also becomes the leader of the Justice League alongside Wonder Woman. So what's the plot? Like I mentioned before, 2 years that passed. Remember in my last two videos when I mentioned Metagene and Metahuman? Well, the Reach and the Crotayans were kidnapping people to find metagenes. A metagene is a certain gene in the human body. When exposed to enough trauma or danger, the metagene activates, allowing whoever has said gene to develop superpowers in order to survive. These were dubbed metahumans, and the Reach and the Crotayans want to find people with these metagenes and turn them into soldiers. Unfortunately, that does not change, because now people on Earth are doing the exact same thing. With Wonder Woman leading an away team of the superheroes Ice, the Green Lantern, the Guy Gardner Green Lantern, I'll go into him another time, Black Lightning, I should go over him now before we continue. Black Lightning, well, is an African-American superhero that I'm pretty sure was introduced somewhere in Season 2. I can't be sure. His real name is Jeff. And he becomes a major player throughout the season. More on that later. So the rest of the white team consists of Hawkman, Hawkwoman, and, of course, Superman, who are trying to rebuild the League's reputation in space after their trial on the planet Brimbor. However, we later learn that metahuman trafficking on Earth has spilled out into the galaxy. And it's become what Batman describes, and I would have to agree with him on this one, a global pandemic. And the League is not prevented to do anything, because at the end of the invasion season, the original U.S. Secretary General actually retired because of his stupidity inviting the Reach to Earth, but I'm not getting into that. And Lex Luthor became the new U.S. Secretary General. Now, Lex Luthor is actually part of Vandal Savage's group, who is actually part of the Light. And as a result, he's using the League's UN Charter, the thing that which is a plan that the League made that says, hey, we'll abide by your rules. You let us do our thing, and you can tell us if you want us or not. But he's been adding more and more said rules to the chart. He's been adding more rules to said charter. As a result, the League is pretty much in a stalemate. They aren't even allowed to go on humanitarian missions without approval, which costs lives. As a result, Batman speculates, and once again, I have to agree with this, that Luthor is doing this so he can turn nations against the League. Because if the superheroes dedicated to protecting the Earth can't really do anything, that's going to put people that's going to make them look like that they're selfish. Except it's not. That's currently neither here nor there. Also, there's a mention of a civil war with Bialia, the fictional country I mentioned in my past 2 videos. That is at the war with its neighboring. That's having a civil war with its neighboring country of... I'm not sure what it's called. Point is, civil war, it gets mentioned here or there, but it's not really important. So, Batman suggests that they disband the League, with everyone else, being smart, arguing against him. However, Batman is unwavering, because he is Batman, and quits the League along with Red Arrow, and other members, Batwoman, Metamorpho, Katana, Plastic Man, and Hardware. I'm not getting into them right now. So, what about everyone? And so, as a result, spoiler, Arrowette, and Robin, still Tim Drake, leave the team. Dig, on the other hand, is still on a solo mission, because apparently after 2 years, you still don't get over Wally being dead, but then again, he was his best friend, so not really that surprising. And is working on disbanding metahuman trafficking. He puts a team together consisting of Superboy, Artemis, who is still going by Tigress, and Jeff, where we later learned that he accidentally killed a metahuman kid. Well, sort of. In the beginning of the episode, she actually is described as having a heart problem, but still, it's the whole, who are you going to blame if you have the gun scenario? The person who owns the gun, or the person who fires the gun? Jeff is in the mindset that he fired the gun. And I can't really blame him. So because of this, Jeff's powers, which produce Black Lightning, which does, I'm not really sure, I guess it's just whatever the writers want it to do. Long story short, he can access his powers, but he still joins Nightwing's team if it means he can stop more kids from becoming becoming weapons. Also, we're introduced to a new type of gear. Darkwear. Darkwear is Darkwear is pretty much what it says. It's completely dark. It's a completely dark uniform with no superhero symbols, and no way to identify someone. And as a result, this was created by the league and probably the team in order to prevent an international incident. That's a good call. Also, everybody also gets these neat little contacts that allow them to communicate with each other and see what anyone else is seeing. It also allows them to decrypt passwords and find the correct series of numbers for a keypad lock, which is mighty impressive. It's also possible for someone to have a completely separate communication from the others, as demonstrated when Nightwing communicated with Oracle when nobody else on the team could. Speaking of which, let's move in now. The episodes in this one were always released in the sets of 3, which could get a little confusing for me, so I just won't go into them. But anyway, the first 3 episodes introduced 2 new characters. First is Geoforce, who is actually one of the younger twin of the Crown Prince of Markovia. Now, he has a temperament and issue. He has problems with his temper, similar to how Superboy was in the first season. And as a result, he decided to become a metahuman in order to protect his country. Which is kind of extreme, but still, good cause and all that. Hang on, guys. Sorry. So, in any case, next we meet Violet, whose real name was Gabrielle Dahl, and I should probably go over Brion's powers right. So, Brion's power, like his name, Geoforce, allows him to, manipulate geometric forces, specifically lava. Now, originally he could create lava-like armor around his body, but these would burn his clothing. Eventually, he did get a suit, which was handmade by another Justice League member, Fire, who has the ability to, control green fire. So even if his clothes would burn off while wearing it, he wouldn't be butt naked. Good call. Next is Halo, who took the name Violet Harper. The first name obviously being coming from, the first part, Violet, comes from a name that Brion gave her. Yeah, those two have had sort of a relationship, have sort of been forming a relationship throughout the season. And Harper is actually comes from Jim, from the Harper family. More specifically, Roy Harper, the original clone, who changed his name to Jim in order to distance himself more. We also get to see it's Will Harper. Jim Harper is actually the clone that became Guardian, and Roy is still Roy. Enough said. Rest in peace, Stan. But enough about that. Anyway, Halo's original name was actually Gabrielle Dahl. However, due to some convoluted reasons, she actually fused with a mother box, which is a living computer from the planets in New Genesis. Now, before I go into this, there's going to be a lot of talk about these, so let's diverge a little bit. So, New Genesis was created, I forget who it was created by, but anyway, New Genesis is home of the new gods, which are all superpowered beings who are ruled over the most powerful of them, known as Highfather. However, and they live on, I believe, New Ares. Or New Haven? I don't know. But anyway, their planet has a sister planet known as Apocalypse. And before you ask, yes, these are going to Yes, the two planets are symbols for heaven and hell. And if Allfather is God, then the ruler of Apocalypse, Darkseid, is Satan. More on him later. But anyway, both have living computers. The Mother Box is from New Genesis, and its counterpart, the Father Box, is from Apocalypse. But in any case, let's go over Halo's abilities. Now, Halo has the ability to generate auras, and each aura does something different. A red aura allows her to create a force field, an orange aura allows her to fly, a yellow aura allows her to use energy blasts, a green aura allows her to produce holograms, a blue aura allows her to create a flash of light, an indigo aura opens a boom tube. A boom tube can be used by anyone, allowing them to instantly transport themselves from one place to another, like, say you're halfway across the galaxy, and you want to get home for dinner in time. Open a boom tube, and BAM! There in 6 seconds. Or 5, depending. But in any case, and Violet Aura, which allows her to heal herself and actually revive herself if she's ever killed. Yeah. Now, next she has Rainbow Aura, which allows her to use all her auras which combines her auras and allows her to use all their powers at once. But in any case, in the next couple episodes, we meet Forager, who is, well, a bug from New Genesis. Literally. He's an anthropomorphic bug man. And due to some shenanigans, he had to leave. I remember the name now, it's New Genesis. He had to leave New Genesis for his own protection. Protection because of his life was now in danger. I'm not getting into that. Now, a nice thing about not having to worry about the standards of Cartoon Network allows the creators to do what they want. I.e., they are allowed to show people actually getting killed and a lot more blood. Yes, seriously. I cannot tell you how many times people have gotten maimed in this show. Oof. Next, we need to go over Tara Markov, or she's known as Tara. Now, this is actually a bit different from the regular comic book or animated series incarnations. Once again, let's diverge to comic books and the 2003 Teen Titans animated series. So, Tara was actually part of the Teen Titans, but she ended up betraying them in the Teen Titans comic, The Judas Contract, to a cult. Yes, seriously. And after I'm not going to that, partner, Deathstroke, betrayed her, she was so angry that she caused the building to collapse, killing herself in the process. Now, this version of Tara has been depicted across multiple strands of media. And the only place I see it a little differently is the Teen Titans animated series, which is involved in the Season 2 finale, Aftershock, where Tara actually does beat back Deathstroke's incarceration, but because they can't call him Deathstroke in this series because TV standards, they call him Slade. But in her anger, she accidentally opens up a pocket of magma, and if it's not closed, it will destroy Jump City, the city that the Titans protect and when they're mostly based out of. Tara then sacrifices herself to re-close the magma pocket, but she turns to stone. And I don't feel like going over one of the most frustrating and most sad and somewhat hated series finale in cartoon history. I'm not. But anyway, I always thought this was kind of sad because Tara was made this way across multiple media, except for this show, where she actually betrays Deathstroke this time. And you have no idea how good this feels. It feels so good. Also, Beast Boy, who left the team because of, well, I should go over this. You see, Beast Boy was originally had another family. Of course, that before he went to live with M'gann. That being the Doom Patrol. Now, the Doom Patrol was a team of superheroes that were considered freaks of nature. Because they weren't considered what normal heroes would. It consisted of Robot Man, a man whose brain was placed inside a robotic body, Elastigirl, who had the ability to morph her body, to change her body to suit any battle, Negative Man, a man who was covered in bandages and could release a black being covered in yellow energy to fight, but they could only remain apart for a short amount of time, and Mesmo, who had great psychic powers. However, they were led by the Chief, who put them together and was wheelchair-bound. However, they all died, which involved Beast Boy going to live with M'gann. However, in between Invasion and Outsiders, Mento, who actually ran away and faked his death, and claimed custody of Beast Boy, and decided to pawn him off as an actor. Yes, seriously. However, Beast Boy decided to rejoin the team. But he couldn't do that because of his popularity and how well known he was. So what to do? Use that popularity. Beast Boy created the Outsiders, who were dedicated to finding the light in the light, so the light could not hide in their light because of the light the new Outsiders produces with said light. Yeah, that's right. But anyway, let's get to the season finale. Nevermore. So, things go downhill. Fast. But, I'll give you the skinny. So, G-Force actually kills his uncle, who was a major player in the first 3 episodes, and eventually usurped his brother as the King of Markovia. We learn that the Ambassador is actually a metahuman, who has the ability to use his words to influence the brain of whoever he's speaking to. So in any case, everyone rejoins the League, and those who left the team rejoin said team. Also, Aquaman and Wonder Woman step down, everyone electing Jeff as the new leader of the Justice League. Jeff only agrees if Batman says he will rejoin. Batman is hesitant first, but Jeff makes it clear that he won't take the position unless he joins back up. So, Batman agrees. Then Jeff gives a speech that keeping secrets from each other, even though you may have good intentions behind it, prevent them from making the choices that they would have made if they had known. And that this job always comes with temptations, like what happened with Geoforce. And at the end of the season, and in the final few shots of the season, we see everyone gathered to a diner. We also learn Calder is gay. Not getting into that. I'm leaving that one untouched. Nice. But anyway, we later see a waitress putting down. We later see a waitress who is serving her table. We close in on her ring, which says LOS. For those of you who don't know, that means Legion of Superheroes, who is a superhero team from the future, mostly comprised of teenage superheroes. Now, originally people thought the next season was going to be called Young Justice Legion. But however, that was later changed. However, that was changed to Young Justice Phantoms. What's the plot? I don't know. But it's going to be coming out on HBO Max, with DC Universe officially being dead. Yes, seriously, it was a combination of things. Even Young Justice couldn't save it. But once again, they'll probably still have more creative liberties, as most of the original programs for DC Universe have transferred over to that show. So that's pretty much it for my look over at Young Justice Outsiders, and Young Justice in general. It's a great series, and if you guys do have HBO Max, I suggest giving it a watch. But that's all for now. Next time, we'll be heading over back to the land of the Rising Sun in order to talk about a card game that some of you may have heard of, and if not, well, you're about to. Join me next time when we look over the anime/trading card game, Yu-Gi-Oh! Not in that order. But what do you guys think? Want me to talk about a certain character a specific character you've heard me mention in my past few Young Justice lookovers? Let me know in the comments down below. Hit that like button and please subscribe to my channel. I don't update often, but when I do, hit that bell icon, you'll get all the latest updates. Well, that's all for now. This is Jack Clear saying, meh, they got nothing. See ya!